wonderful.
Yeah. Now tell me, Joe, let me start with you. When Pauline asked you to join this ministry, what really make you decide to join this ministry?
Well, I wanted to talk to the ladies and just to be talking about ladies, not just children all the time, you know, and that's what I really wanted to be, you know, among women that had problems and house problems, whatever, you know.
It is a very good social affair.
It is.
Oh, it's one, it really is, you know, we have fun.
Yes.
Yes.
They get their work
Tell me
done.
what sort of fun you have.
Oh, just,
We settle all the problems of the world.
that's right, we save the world. We're trying to help the Lord.
You have coffee, right?
Yes.
Cookies.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, people bring
Yes.
cookies and dessert,
Somebody's
yeah.
always bringing something, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, we miss a whole year of this.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is-
yeah.
And you know,
For me, the yoking was a blessing because I met so many people from Our Lady of Sorrows that I wouldn't have met otherwise.
Yes.
You know,
And-
that's- oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And by getting together with our ministry, we've become very close and we really care about each other, and it's really a great, great
Yes.
ministry.
What is so wonderful is that you're from Chester,
yes,
and that's what we want, because we're all one.
we are. We are.
And we care for each other, and we really care about each other.
Right.
So we want to join together because we are one. We're one church now, and
That's
right.
I'd love to see more people coming in from Chester. Actually, I think we have, it's like half and half. But we also had some from Saybrook.
That's
We
right.
have one from Haddam.
Yes.
Oh.
So you don't even have to belong to the church. Just
No.
come and join us, enjoy it.
And if you don't know how to knit or crochet, we'll show you.
She'll show you.
Oh, wow.
She fixes problems.
problems. And they look at my European knitting and I compare with your knitting.
Absolutely beautiful. Both of you started at a young age. It was obvious. And Joe, you must have been pretty young when you
Yeah.
started.
Oh,
She
sure.
was beautiful.
But they all
Isn't that
look
beautiful?
nice.
They
Beautiful.
do. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They
Yes.
are.
They really are. They're wonderful. And we have given quite a few to children, which is nice. Like if there's a teenager or somebody, we try to make it more teenagey, you know, more like with knots on the end or whatever.
Or
More of
more
a
colors
blanket
like
type,
these.
yeah.
Yes.
This one happens to be for a baptism. It's Father came and asked if we could make some little blankets for baptism babies. And so I just incorporated a little cross, two large ones and 4 smaller ones. So
That's beautiful.
Very
It
beautiful,
is.
Martin.
So in your ministry, I'm sure that, you must have given shawls to different people. Is there anything you would like to speak about their response to you?
Say that
Anybody?
again, Father.
Any response from those who receive the shawls?
I actually, a neighbor of mine came down with a very sudden, very serious cancer and is not Catholic. And I decided it doesn't make any difference. And I went over on many occasions, brought either food or just company, and brought her a shawl one day, and she was so happy. She said, she's Christian, it doesn't matter, and appreciated it so much. And it just meant to me, it doesn't have to be just one place, or like you said, it doesn't have to be Chester or Essex or Deep River. Right. It could be anywhere, so that's so nice that we have people from different areas. And I never felt that would be the same with babies. I don't know which baby has which religion.
no, of course.
They're just born, and if we can donate, and I talked to the nurse today at Middlesex Hospital. Unfortunately, with COVID, I cannot deliver until Friday, and we have to make separate arrangements to probably meet downstairs. And that will happen hopefully this Friday. I have to reconnect with her. She's a nurse at the maternity ward, and she was absolutely thrilled that we have more baby hats. So they use them all the time for sick children that are small, or for preemies, like I mentioned earlier, or any child that goes home, and they're not all baptized, but hopefully there will be. So,
Actually, it is like what Mother Teresa did.
right.
She did not really even think about, I mean, if they are Hindus or Muslims or
No.
Christians.
Oh, I
No.
know.
Yes.
To the needy, those who need our help,
The poor.
we will
yeah.
give.
Yes,
That's it.
yes.
Yes, Margie.
I was going to say, we also made quite a few masks. We got together
Yes. Yes.
and Father bought the elastic, and we all contributed our stash of fabric that we know we have lots of that. At least I know I do. And we made, golly, I don't know how many we made, Father, a couple hundred.
Yes. Easy.
Easy, for
Easy.
both churches.
Yeah. Pauline, you started with a story. Come on, go ahead.
Okay, I was talking about this one person that received a shawl. He was going on a trip on his motorcycle from Florida back to Connecticut. So they flew to Florida and rode their motorcycles back home as a, they were donating, you're doing this as a donation to some food pantry or, you know, some good cause. And I happened to see him after he got home. They had a deadline to meet. And the whole time he was gone, it rained.
Oh.
And he didn't have a motorcycle, he had a scooter. But most of them had motorcycles. And when he left, I said, I want you to take this with you, and it's for all of you. And, oh, he was so grateful. So he put it in the back of his scooter, in his little satchel there. And when I saw him when he got home one day in the back of the church, he was shaking, and I said, oh, how was your trip? And the poor guy, he was so upset. He said it was a nightmare. It was horrible. Mm-hmm. And I said, what happened? He said, well, it rained the whole way. They had a deadline to get here, so they couldn't stop and spend the night somewhere. They had to keep going to be able to get back to Farmington, Connecticut on a Friday. Mm. And he said they were going like 70, 80. He said they were so close to one another. He said he was absolutely frightened, completely shooken. And he said, if it wasn't for this shawl, he said, I don't think I would have made it. He said, I just felt so safe.
Wow.
Because I knew that was on my bike.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have heard other stories of people that they're almost to the brink, you know, and then all of a sudden they're doing fine. So you never know, but it is up to the Lord. You know, this is done because we care and we love the people and we care about people. And the most important thing about this is also that they're being prayed for and their souls are being prayed for, because that's the most important part of life, is that no matter what happens in life, there's somebody praying for you.
Yeah.
And we all need that. And more, because these younger people aren't learning to do that, to pray for the souls of the past. So the ministry, this is what it's all about, is being close to the Lord and giving whatever we can to help others.
You know, I think I can speak about what you told me last week. You told me that probably we may have to change the name for the ministry because the word shawl gives some sort of impression that it is for the elderly people. You know, if you want to find a new name, and I'm not against it, but what comes to my mind is the shawls are given right from the babies to the mothers, not only for sickness, but for happiness as well.
That's right.
That's right, Father.
For your birthday or
That's right.
baptism day, even wedding day, why not?
That's right.
You know,
Oh, definitely.
so
Graduation.
we should make it, I mean, the shawl is a sign of God's grace flowing to people in whatever situation they are.
Mm-hmm.
And we are trying to help. You know. So,
Yes.
yeah,
We decided to stay with shawls.
okay.
Prayer shawl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marge and I had talked to her about it, and I thought, this is silly because we have the papers all written up. And that's another thing that people should know is when they get the shawl, they also get a little prayer.
Speak about it.
And then they also have a paper with their name on it that goes into a book near the altar. And it's there forever. You know, it's
Yeah.
always there.
So now actually, I mean, we have spoken a lot about what we do. Now, as a way of winding up, I'm going to ask you, maybe start with Joe. Can you give an invitation to people to join this ministry? Would you?
A limitation,
Invitation.
invitation.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I think it's just wonderful because I even gave one to my granddaughter who had my ninth great grandchild, Avery, and he was just born April 4th. So the day after Easter, and he was 7.5 pounds, and I talked to her today, as a matter of fact, before I came, and I sent her a shawl just like this in different colors, and she loved it. She just loved the fact that I thought about her, you know, and actually made it with my own 2 hands, you know.
And that's amazing.
Yes,
That really
she'll
is
she'll
amazing.
keep it for a long time. Anyway, so she really and she was actually feeding the baby when I was on the phone with her. She calls me every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, and that's what I was talking to her about. And anyway, so it's just a wonderful place to be with, talking about just getting the things that you are afraid about with other ladies that are afraid about the same thing, and then you get that fear taken away, because if they could go through it, you can go through it, and you can get the prayers answered or not answered. Whatever happens is God's will, and that's
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because people have to know about it. Anybody else giving a good invitation to how people to join this ministry?
Well, for me, it was wonderful because, as I mentioned, we are more newcomers, and both Leah and I were still working. And now it's become, for me, a wonderful thing to join and see every one of you every couple of weeks. And if we don't see each other, we know we're quietly knitting or crocheting or working on something, whatever it is. And to me, that was important after years of being separated. And also my family, I have 4 children, I have 10 grandchildren. So very involved with them until this year. And this year, I have to honestly say, just knowing that we, even though we couldn't be together, we were together in prayer, in talking with each other on the phone. We knew people who were sick with COVID and were maybe losing family members because of the virus. And my youngest is a nurse at Yale New Haven. She is actually not officially working, but she went back to vaccinate. And it's amazing that, you know, all of these connections that we have, whether it's elderly people or younger people, or people who are, like you said, you went to work after your children were not that little that you needed to be home. but it's not even that. It's just the connection of people that for me is the most important.
I think the internet has helped a great deal with FaceTime. I have 7 grandchildren and 6 great-granddaughters. And the youngest just turned a year a couple of weeks ago, and it was so good to see them on my iPad and be able to keep in touch with them in some shape or way, you know. And my husband was busy all winter making a table for our granddaughter who has the 6 girls, and she's homeschooling. They're very Catholic, they always at church. The little girls at 3 years old, if you had to take them to the bathroom, they would genuflect at the altar to get to the bathroom. They're just great kids. My husband built them a table because they needed the room. They needed the space to homeschool with all their books and all. So FaceTime has been a blessing, really, for families to keep in touch.
That's what we have been doing, you know,
Yes.
online basically. Now,
These are just
let
slipping.
me tell you, those who are watching, now these 4 people they represent, how many people do we have in the ministry
There's
right now?
between, it's hard because there are 2 from Saybrook that aren't coming anymore. So there's about 12, 13.
About 12.
And so, and sometimes you get 7, sometimes you get 5. But I
But
want
you
to.
have 12 people involved in this ministry.
Oh yeah,
yes.
yes, and a lot of them have missed it so much,
Oh, they
you
have.
know,
Yes.
that not getting together. But
So
going
that's-
back to what you were saying about the ministry or meeting people, the thing is, I'm not a joiner. Believe me, I did it for the Lord because I don't enjoy doing this. But anyway, it's so important because when you would offer to help somebody at the church, sometimes people rather do it themselves. So it was very difficult to meet people. When this started, it wasn't only the Shawl ministry and the people that came, it was immediately connected. You know, the people just connected. And so when you're in church now, I know people from Chester
That's right.
and Essex, and that's how we all feel. Now you see people that you know and you can speak to. And now your wife at church, I see her, she was going to join the ministry. We're hoping she will someday.
Yes.
Kathy. And, but it brings people together, and it shows that people are real. We're not just going to church, go to church. We really do care about each other.
That's right.
You know, that's the thing. That's why in this ministry what they really do is they knit, they crochet, they come together every 2 times in a month, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every other week.
Every other week they come. Of course, I mean, they knit and crochet, and also they talk, they share, especially sharing of faith is there.
Oh, yes.
So you people, I mean, if you'd like to join this ministry, you're most welcome. You know, you call any of these people and come. And everything that we are doing, the name of the parish, because somebody receives a shawl, they know that it is from St. Teresa of Calcutta parish. It is from the parish. So, I'm sure that, I mean, you must have got something, the gist of this ministry. Now, pray for us, pray for this ministry, pray for our parish, and thank you.